This is what.
I don't know, but that's not you.
You're looking for a home? You're looking for land? Look no further. Elite Realty Dominica got you covered. Whether it's to buy a home or build a home or just an investment property, contact Nicole London at 888-860-2366. That's 888-860-2366. Or you can log on to DominicaEliteRealty.com for all your inquiries and questions. Elite Realty Dominica, where exquisite living is defined by nature.
Give it to me, do it to me, give it to me. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. The way you make me.
Do you like music like this? That's right, I'm asking you. Do you like music like this? Then why have you not been to Sophisticated Saturday as yet? That's right, each and every third Saturday of the month, we call it Sophisticated Saturdays. Where we keep it at? Caribbeanlifetv Studios. 6254 Memorial Drive is the only place to be each and every third Saturday of the month. So if you want to celebrate your birthday, if you just want to come hang out and have some fun with grown people having big fun, Sophisticated Saturdays is the only place to be. It's brought to you by yours truly, DJ Reds, and my boy, Mr. B. Sophisticated Saturdays, every third Saturday of the month, 6254 Memorial Drive is where the grown people go and have good, clean fun. Every third Saturday of the month, man. The way you make me feel, I'm just going to have fun. I'll see you there, Sophisticated Saturdays. I got you. It's all about Caribbean International Shipping. That's right. Do you need more information on shipping your items to the U.S., Southeast region, or to the Caribbean? Have you ever heard of Caribbean International Shipping? You shop, they pack, and ship. They also offer residential pickup services. Support our business, like, share, and call. For your barrel shippings, let us know. The number to call is 470-718-9675 on WhatsApp or 770-323-1111. Caribbean International Shipping, the only way to send your stuff to the islands. Lawrence Prescott Photography. I'm smiling, I'm laughing because, God, I know what I'm talking about. Lawrence Prescott Photography. That's the only person you need to call when you're ready to take your pictures. You want those pictures to come out right. You want those pictures to last forever. You want your best picture taken? Lawrence Prescott Photography. He does private events, in studio also, and outdoor photography if you need. Photography is what Lawrence Prescott does, and he's really good at it. Trust me. And also, when you want to get that video done, any type of videography production, he got you. He does short films, movies, any type of videos as well. Lawrence Prescott got you at anything that you really need. So make sure you give him a call. His phone number, and I'm going to say it slow for you, it's 404-218-1234. Did you get that? 404-218-1234. Lawrence Prescott Photography. Yo, my brethren, big up.
Atlanta, your ship and clear company, E&W Shipping, is making it easy for your shipments to Jamaica. This holiday season, beginning right now, call 770-524-8663 and have your barrels picked up to meet the following shipping dates: Saturday, October 26th, Friday, November 16th, and Friday, November 30th. Get your barrels in by October 26th and you can have your second barrel shipped at half price. Yes, E&W Shipping, your ship and clear company, is making shipping easy this holiday season. Call 770-524-8663 now and get your barrels shipped and cleared hassle-free to Jamaica. E&W Shipping, your ship and clear company.
Give it to me, do it to me, give it to me. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. The way you make me.
Do you like music like this? That's right, I'm asking you. Do you like music like this? Then why have you not been to Sophisticated Saturday as yet? That's right, each and every third Saturday of the month, we call it Sophisticated Saturdays. Where we keep it at? Caribbean Live TV Studios. 6254 Memorial Drive is the only place to be each and every third Saturday.
Atlanta,
Celebrate your birthday. Hang out and have some fun.
Your ship and
people having big fun. Sophisticated Saturdays is the only place to be. It's brought to you by yours truly, DJ Reds, and my boy, Mr. B. Sophisticated Saturdays, every third Saturday of the month. 6254 Memorial Drive is where the grown people go and have good, clean fun. Every third Saturday of the month, man. The way you make me feel, I'm just gonna have fun. I'll see you there. Sophisticated Saturdays. I got you.
Oh, what a night. What a night, what a night. Oh gosh, what a night. I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, cause your perfume isn't loud, and only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good. You feel like velvet rubbing over my skin, and when your hair dances under my chin, wish we were alone, baby, just the two of us. Yes, every move you make gives me a rush. Oh, oh. Wine some more, show me that love unconditionally. Make believe we're alone, just you and me. Take the problems, leave them behind. Don't let it show. Go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go. I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, cause your perfume isn't loud, that only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, what a vibe, what a vibe, what a vibe. What a night, what a night, what a night, yes, what a night, yeah. I'd love to wipe the sweat off of your face, but it looks so good I might have to replace. This moment is magic, so I leave it alone until you say, honey, time to go home. Oh, oh, oh. Wine some more and show me that love unconditionally. Make believe we're here alone, just you and me. Take the problems, leave them behind. Don't let it show. Go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go, baby, go. I feel good when I'm wrapped up in your arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, cause your perfume isn't loud, that only I can talk about. Feel good, yes. Oh, what a night, what a night, yes. What a sweet, sweet night, full of vibes. Oh, what a night.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. This is Rosalee Henry, your seven-figure doula whisperer, and you're in for another treat with Chat Bout, where we transform lives one conversation at a time. I'm so excited to have you join us again for another week. We're so, so excited. And we're going to be picking up from, not where we left that last week, but the week before, where we were, talking about, my billboard and how excited we were, or we are, about it. So we're going to be continuing that conversation, because we know how critical it is to having SOPs, right? Standard operating procedures for every business. So that's what we are going to be diving in today, because I know what it was like when we first started our business, and we were just um, literally all over the place, right? And because of that, it was very frustrating. We lost a lot of time, and we all know that time is money. So now we are going to be focusing on helping other people, other small business owners, not to make the mistakes that we made. And whether you're in the maternal community or, the healthcare community, we are here for you. Doesn't matter what type of small business you have. We want to make sure that we are here to help you. So today, we're going to be focusing, like I said, on SOP. We're going to be digging into that, and we're going to be sharing some of the challenges and some of the struggles that we've gone through and how we were able to overcome them. So for us, our personal journey, like I said, we started out in the, postpartum care business, and then we ventured out into the home care business. And at first, it was very challenging. I was pretty much doing everything by myself, wearing many hats until, I was fortunate enough to have my husband join me in the business, and that really helped us. And we came together and, hired a coach because it was hard. I was handling client interaction, scheduling, paperwork, care duties, and also still trying to grow the business all at once. And I know I'm not alone in this. I'm sure that some of you who are listening to me right now have gone through it or still going through it. So, let me tell you, it was stressful, and I can relate to some of the stress that some of you may be going through right now. Like I said, I remember just working late nights, answering emails in the bed and trying to manage household at the same time because your life goes on. You still have a family to take care of. Sometimes when I'm working overnight, also I'm returning emails, I'm scheduling posts, doing so much things. I was doing it all. So, Mr. Bizzell, you wanna chime in on any you remember any of those times that you wanna talk about? I'll turn the
remember
camera around for you
all
for them
those
to
times.
see.
Good evening, people. I remember all those times. I remember the late nights. I remember the struggles that we had. I remember when I was working and helping you in the business, trying to do my part, and we just had to do what we had to do because we didn't know any better,
Yes.
and that was the thing. A lot of people start businesses out and they really don't know any better. They just know, I got this in my head. I want to get it out. I want to get it done. But the struggles are common struggles that I think every business owner faces. And I know that, many of you listening are facing those exact same struggles. And we want to give you some pointers and ideas of how to get past it, how to deal with it while you're in it. And, being a doula, I'm going to let my wife talk to you specifically about those issues because she's been there. She's done that. We've transitioned from a lot of things. Can you talk to the small business owners about, what they may go through, especially those that are in the healthcare community?
Oh my God, yes, yes, yes. I remember some of the client management overload. That yeah, just like I said, working in the business and on the business at the same time, answering calls, sending emails, juggling text messages, scheduling workers to go to work all at the same time. It's just like it was hard, And then one minute you just finally realize that, hey, you cannot keep doing this. We cannot keep running a business like this. And that was when we made the conscious decision to hire a coach.
Yeah, and even before we got to coaching, though, one thing that we had to realize is it's truly impossible to scale the business while you're trying to do everything because
Yes.
you become the bottleneck in that business. You got everything in your head, but you can't get it out fast enough to get the people that are trying to help you up to speed. So that's something else that you really need to look at, work on, and something I'm sure we'll touch on while we're going through this conversation.
Yes, because we always say there's two things that you cannot do in your business at the same time. and be able to grow and scale your business. And that is working on your business and
And
in your
working
in your
the
business at the
business.
same time. You're going to be a bottleneck. You cannot do both. So you have to make the conscious decision to say, okay, you know what? I'm at the point now where I need help. And sometimes as a business owner, it's not easy to ask for help because this is your baby, and you want to make sure that it's done the way that you know how to do it. But sometimes just thinking that way, you end up becoming the bottleneck in your business, and you prevent your business from growing and scaling.
Not only is it your baby, but I think a lot of people feel I started this, so I have to do it all. Nobody can do it as good as I can because, like you said, it's your baby. But what you have to realize is that there have been many people before you. There are going to be many people after you. And what you have to learn is to pull from all different sources. Learn how to delegate because, like we've said before, you know the feeling when your phone never stops ringing.
Yes, yes.
Calls, texts, emails, it can get to be stressful. Even when I was in corporate America working as an on call tech, it got stressful. So for a business owner, I would say it's 3 or 4 times that.
Most definitely. And you come to a point where we have to identify, okay, where is it in our business where we we can't do this by ourselves anymore. And for me, it was when, like I said, client management overload. Admin task was piling up because I wasn't able to get to everything I need to get to. Billing and financial management, that became a headache when I remember checking back and we have invoices that was not paid because we did not have system and process in place, and I was doing everything. So we do get stuck in a point where, okay, things are not getting done in a timely manner. And when you are missing invoices and not getting paid, that's a big problem in your business because that's money that is being left out. And not everyone is going to be honest enough to reach out to you and say, hey, I didn't receive an invoice. And I can tell from personal stories where I found one time where, we were so out of invoices, and when I reached out to the person, they were like, okay, we paid, right? And I'm like, no, even though we weren't up to par, luckily I still had things in place that was able to catch it and show it to them like, no, these invoices were not yet paid. So having no, that would not happen because we have everything on, automated. So they would be getting reminders. So that was a big plus now for us to having those things automated where we don't have to be going back and sending invoice one at a time and inquiring and checking on if things are getting done because now everything is automated, so it's able to get done. Overwhelming marketing, that's a big help for us now, having system in place, having everything automated, having emails going out, newsletters being set up to go out. So those were some of the issues that we were having before we had system and processes in place. So if that's something that you are facing, because marketing is a big deal. People, it doesn't matter how good a product you have. If nobody knows about your product, it's not going to move. So you have to make sure that you're marketing your product. You have to make sure that you're being seen. But in this day and age, you cannot run your business and be doing your marketing at the same time. You have to make sure that you have things set up that is going out automated. Even if you're going to take time and post stuff, like on Sundays to go out, but how long can you do that for if you're going to be able, if you're trying to grow and scale your business?
Well, another big point about marketing is that every business needs it. And nowadays, there are so many tools available to help with marketing. And I recommend that you sit down and you really pay attention to what's out there because, as she's already said, you could have the best thing since sliced bread, as the old saying goes. But if no one knows about it, if no one sees it, hears it, or even has an idea that something like that exists, what good is it doing?
That's true.
You've got to get it out there. You've got to get the marketing. And you, as the business owner, you can't market, sell, answer phones, do emails, put in invoices, verify invoices, verify that you've got the right person on the phone, verify contact information. You can't do it all,
And serve the client at the same time.
especially with trying to serve the client at the same time and getting it right. You might be able to give them service, but is it the kind of service that you want to be known for?
No.
So again, you've got to get processes in place. You've got to understand that you can't do it all. And you've also got to accept the fact that if you're trying to do it all, you are going to be the bottleneck in your own business.
And not only bottleneck, how many of you are feeling burnt out right now because you're wearing so many hats in your business? And we can relate because, that was us. We're the caregiver, we're the administrator, we're the marketer, we're the bookkeeper, we're everything. Or we were everything,
Everything.
everything in the business. And even we love doing some of those things, but it wasn't paying off. The math wasn't mathing because we were doing the things that we could pay someone else to do, so we could do the things that we're supposed to do as a CEO in our business, which is going out and get more business.
And
Right.
speaking on that, there are so many instances, but there's one incident that I'll never forget where we thought everything in place and doing what was supposed to be done, but we got a call at 12:30 in the morning. I just got off work about an hour before that. Rosalie was doing everything she was supposed to do. We thought we could get some sleep and get back up the next morning, but 12:30 we get a call. Hey, where is this person?
Yeah.
And we're
Yep.
like, what do you mean, where's this person? They were scheduled to be there.
They
We
weren't
had
there.
to get up out of the bed, go find the person, and get them to work
Yeah.
because
They got lost.
got lost.
They got lost going to work.
And there was another incident where she wasn't lost. She just couldn't get to work and didn't want to say that she couldn't get to work. And we had to go get them. So you've got to understand that things happen. And if you don't have certain things in place, if you don't have other people that you can rely on, you're the one that's not going to get sleep, and something is going to fail.
That's true. That's true. Hi, Alicia. Alicia said, "Sis, the struggle is real. It is business trauma. It is so, yeah,
It is
business
very
trauma. It is.
real.
It can be very traumatic. So I totally agree with you with that. And thank God now we have systems in place. We have people in place. So if somebody do call in or call out, we don't have to get out of bed,
To go
or even
find
to
them
answer the
or
phone,
even to deal with
right?
it.
Because we do have, a call service. That's part of our business. That's part of the thing that we offer in our business. So we don't have to handle that anymore. But it comes with trials and errors and learning and going through it and hiring a coach to teach us how to streamline things, how to get things going. Because it doesn't make sense for as a business owner to try to figure it out when there are so many people who have gone through it before you and is capable of teaching you how to do it, right? So find someone who you can learn from, who can teach you how to not make the mistakes that they made. And that's the service that we're offering.
And from my point of view, you've got to get past the point of why should I pay someone to do something I can do myself?
Yes.
And the reason you need to pay someone is this. Just like going through school, just like anything you would do, learning to drive a car, learning to use a computer, learning to fix something at home. It is much easier if someone can show you how to do it right the first time than you sitting there struggling, trying to figure it out on your own, screwing something up and having to go redo it again. that money that you're going to come out of pocket with up front, on the back end, you'll probably double or triple that. And you'll sit down and say, I should have done this a whole lot sooner.
That's true. So I know we talk a lot about SOPs. So I'm going to share with you what are SOPs and why they're critical to your business, why you actually need them for your business. So SOP stand for Standard Operating Procedures. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, it is like the GPS for your business, right? It is the blueprint for your business. And just like a GPS guide you through, the fastest route, and it will tell you, hey, there's roadblocks up ahead,
Yeah,
or there are now
this is
police up
coming up.
ahead. This is
Yeah.
coming up. The same thing your SOP does for you. It guides you, right? And it's something that is not a one and done. It's not like you build it and forget it. It's not like a crock pot. You set it and forget it. It's something that you always going back to, because things change, and you go in and you check the data, you see what worked and what didn't work, and you go back in and you tweet it, right? But for the having an SOP, it helps you, because when you get ready to bring on another person, now you have everything in your head. You have everything already laid out, step by step by step, that is shown how everything in your business gets done. So it is very, very, very important. And that's thing I would say, don't skip over. And even if you're just starting your business right now, I would like for you to take a moment every day and everything that you're doing, because it's just you right
Write
now,
it down.
right? Just write it down. Get a Google Doc. Write it down. If you don't have time to write, speak it. Even if you're doing it, you can use a Loom video and record yourself doing the things that you're doing, so you can have that documented, and then you could show it to a teammate. I know a lot of people, we're on social media and we're doing this and we're doing that, but these are the things that are important for us to do in our business.
Touching on that, one other thing I would add would be this. We have something on us I'll say all the time, because most of us do keep them around all the time. Take a moment. You could do the Loom, you could do some other things, but you have a cell phone right there in your pocket. Take a minute, record some information on your cell phone. Make that video on your cell phone.
Yes.
The newer ones are coming out with virtual assistants, which has been out actually for a while now. Use that virtual assistant. Call it up. Make a note. Remind yourself to get this done. While you're doing a process, whether it's answering the phone, hello, my name is such and such, this is this company. Put it in your notes. That's how you want your phone answered. If you're replying back to an email, I log into Google. Here's the username. Here's the password. Click on here to get the actual emails. Do a search for this in the search bar, which will pull up the customer emails,
Right.
or the emails that you're concerned about. So you take care of those first. Say that. Put that down. Yes, it sounds simple. Yes, it sounds like common sense, but you will be surprised how much easier that will make things in the long run, because when that new person comes in and they have absolutely no idea how you do
Run your
things,
business, yes.
they know what school taught them, they know what the last company did, but they have absolutely no idea how you do it.
Right.
By having those notes available, now you're not having to stop what you're doing to teach someone all over again. Here are the notes, follow the instructions, it's detailed. Only if you have a problem,
Come
give
to
me
me.
a call.
Definitely, because even though the person may be coming from another company that's similar to yours, you run your company differently, right?
Exactly.
So you're going to make sure that the way you want your company to be run, you have it detailed. And when you have a clear path laid out, it cuts down on a lot of time that's spent repeating the same thing over and over and over to the worker. And sometimes too, people get frustrated. It makes it seem like you're micromanaging them, but to you, you're not micromanaging them. You're telling them what you want because that's what you know. But if you have it documented, all you have to do is just give them that
Give them the
document,
document,
and then they'll be able to follow it.
and make sure that both of you and whoever you're bringing in, understand that it is a living document. It's not something that you did 2 years ago and it was never updated. No, you need to make sure every 6 months or so you sit down with whoever is over whatever department. Is this still valid?
Yes.
Are we still doing this? Have we changed software? Have you updated this information? Because it has to be a living, breathing,
Document.
ongoing document.
And like you said, you don't have to keep reinventing the wheel because everything is already documented. And guess what? Now you're able to delegate confidently. You don't have to if and but when you delegating a task to someone because it's already there. You just hand them that document or give
And
them
it's
the
done.
tell them where the document is and everything is done. And then you want to make sure that you hire people who, like you said, have some common sense too. So if they're doing something and they feel like, okay, you know what, there's a easier way or a better way, then they also document it. So now it is updated.
Yes. It has to be that way. And as long as you designate this person is going to be over HR, this person is going to be
Yeah.
over the phones, this person is going to be over that, this person is going to be over the marketing. Now you have specific points of contact
Right.
within your business. You don't have to address everybody.
Nope, nope, nope.
You don't have to wait for Jane, who's always 10 minutes late to show up to work. You've got your personal points of contact within the business. Hey, is this right? Have you been doing this? Is this okay? Once you get that assurance from them, now you, as the head of the business, can go back to doing what you need to be doing to bring more money in.
Yes, to bring more business in. So for us, one of the first things that we did in our company when we started, creating the SOP was making sure that we create SOP for client onboarding because that's the meat of the business, right? You have to make
Yes.
sure that the clients are on board correctly. So what we did, of course we have to.
No, I agree with you because just getting a client is the first step. But if you don't have that process in place where client is got, wrong term, you got the client. Now what?
Yeah.
We have to get these documents signed. We have to make sure this is in place. If there is going to be a payment plan, we have to make sure that they have been signed up on the payment plan and that we have the proper banking information. Little things like that, which seems like common sense,
not
which
common.
seems like should happen,
And sometimes
doesn't
it's not,
always
yeah,
happen.
and sometimes too is not even say common sense is you don't know because for us when we first started, like I said, I was doing everything. So I was getting the client, I was sending the worker, I was doing everything, but I was doing it manually. So until I learned about SOP and to be able to set it up, now I'm able to automate everything, right? Now sending welcome email is so much easier. Sending out invoices are so much easier. So now I was able to set up my email template. So all I had to do is go in and personalize it. Change the name of the person you're sending it to.
Exactly.
Or if you want to change the estimated due date or just personalize it, but we have everything template right now. My God, we have maybe about 50 emails set up in our
That we
templates
have
where we
set
just
up.
so we just go in and just pick a template that we want. We were able to set up the consulting, right, and pre-prepare the questionnaire, and again all we had to go in and just personalize it. Gathering information becomes so much more easier because we have all the intake forms, we have all the forms set up, and also just providing the client with an introductory email.
That and making sure all the right questions are being asked.
Yes.
Because even though each client, quote unquote, is different, what you need to know is normally going to be the same pieces of information every time. So if you have those things in place, if you have that documentation in place, you have that questionnaire ready to go, and make sure that it is answered, make sure that it is given to the client and that they fill it out. Each step has to be done so that nothing is missed.
That is so true.
That is the best way. And again, that goes back to what we're always talking about and stressing, the SOPs, your standard operating procedure. Everybody goes through the same process. So nothing is missed.
Bring it on camera.
Nothing is missed. Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing. Hi, viewers. Since I'm on camera this time, I'll go ahead and say something. All right. Nothing is missed. You don't have to wonder, well, did we get this? Did we get that? Do we have the banking information? How do we know who signs what? Which is also very important. We ran into that also where we were dealing with a client and we were not sure who signed for what and who authorized this and who authorized that. And it just became a big mess until we got that straightened out. And going forward after that, before any business started, we needed to know who is authorized to say yes and authorized to say no.
Exactly.
Before we will start anything.
And again, I cannot emphasize enough the freedom, right? The freedom that we got when we had our SOPs in place, because now I wasn't the one who have to do everything, right? When we have everything set up now, I was able to delegate confidently, right? Because I know for sure that, hey, my workers are going to, my team, my workers are going to follow the steps that is put in place for them. So all it comes back to me is at the end where I make sure that everything that is said to be done gets done. And it makes it so much easier for me. It was so much less stress. I had more time that I'll be able now to spend more time with my family. I can travel more. I can do whatever I want to do more. I can go out. I can network. You know, I can do the things I want to do because the business is actually set up. All your SOPs are in place and everybody know who is supposed to do what. Everyone know who is responsible for what. And like I said, that freed up so much of my time.
And I stopped getting beat up in the evening.
That's true, because it becomes personal. Because if as a business owner, when you are struggling in your business and things are not going good, who you turn to? The closest person to you. Who else do I have to talk to? Who else do I have to vent to? So it didn't just help me, it helped you. It helped you also. It does.
It does. It really does. And it makes, especially if you're a husband and wife team, having those things in place also cuts down on a lot of do this, do that. Well, I want it this way. Well, I want it that way. But if you do it this way, then I think it'll be better. If you have those processes in place where you've already sat down and agreed that this is what needs to be done, it never has to come up again.
No.
It never becomes, well, I thought we said, or isn't this what we did last time? No, you have it right there. So everybody is on the same page. Everybody is going down the same path. All the rules are there, and nothing has to fall through the cracks.
And since you said you don't have to get beat up anymore,
Here we go.
I know, because I mean, for real, because I mean, you know, when we first, you know, started, especially when, you know, you stop doing your job and we, you know, come together and you were, you know, no partner in the business, we kind of segment stuff out where you definitely were IT, right? So you did all the technical part of it. You did the invoices and stuff like that. But to be honest, there were times where we were missing invoices because you had so much things going and so many things doing that wasn't automated. So things did fall through the cracks.
They
you
did.
know, and invoicing for us was one of our biggest headaches. You know, we lost track of who had paid, who hadn't paid, who was behind payment. And we know, you know, as a small business, if we don't get paid, then the workers cannot get paid. You know, the bill's not going to get paid. So until when we were able to put SOPs in place, and I was able to like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be done. These are the steps that you were able to follow. We did not have that problem anymore.
No, and also, and I hope you don't get upset about this, one of the other things that having the SOPs in place will do is take your emotions and your feelings out of it. That was one of
That's
the
true.
things.
I mean, I must admit to that as much as I don't want to admit to it because, like I said at first, this is my baby. I created this from scratch. So I want to make sure that everything gets done and get done the way that I do it. And that was a problem because everything was in my head, right? And I didn't have things. I didn't have SOPs in place. So it's like I would frustrate you and I would frustrate the workers because I keep going back and like, okay, you need to do this. And then when I realize that, okay, there's another way, then I go back. And I remember one, I remember my office manager said to me one day, because I just walked in, I'm like, okay, I need you to do, this. And I walked in my office and then something else popped in my mind and I walked back out and I remember she looked at me and said, Miss Rosalie, what exactly do you want me to do? Do you want me to do A or do you want me to do B? And that was when I realized I'm like, wow, I need to.
All over the place.
I'm all over the place. Yes, I must admit that, and I'm sure I'm not the only small business. If people choose to be honest about it, and that's what I want to do. I want to be honest and transparent because this is what I'm talking to people about is personal experience or things that I have personally gone through, right? And if I can save one business owner from going through what we have gone through, I've done my job.
And I agree with you on that. But again, getting back to the taking your feelings out of it, the other part of that is by having these things in place, you eliminate, well, the client might be falling behind or I just feel something. No, business has to be business. And there was a time where you really were wearing your heart on your sleeve and you thought that I was being hard, but now you have realized that you have to have these things in place and everybody has to go through the same process.
Yes, I agree with that. And remember
Business
too,
is business.
I'm not going to deny that. But with you coming from corporate, right? You were just like black and white. There was no gray area for you, right? And with me, I was coming from the caregiving part of it, right? Because I didn't have a blueprint being a business owner. I'm gonna say I'm the first person in my family to have a business, so I didn't have that foundation. So I was learning as I go. So yeah, when we met, yeah, you were hard on me. That kind of hard. You were, and I remember we used to fight. We used to fight a lot, at that time. But like I said, thank God, I was able to hire a coach, and we were, I was coachable, and that saved. Yes, I had to get outside coaching because I didn't believe in what you were telling me, right? Even though, yes, most of what you were telling me was true, but that's the other thing too. When you're a spouse in business, it's hard sometimes to listen to the other person. It's not easy, right? And I didn't want, if it didn't work out, to blame you. I prefer blame the coach if it didn't work out than having to blame you.
Okay. Fellas, victory. That's all I'm going to say. Victory. For those of you that understand, you understand.
I love you, sweetie.
I love you too. But again, that goes back to everything we've been talking about, the SOPs. Because once you've got that in place, emotions can be taken out of it altogether. It is what it is. The process is the process. Everyone has to do the exact same thing.
Yes.
And by having that in place, nobody can say, well, no. There is no can we. There is no, well, what about? Yep. These are the processes. You have to follow along.
Yep. One of the things that makes it work for us is the consistency. There is no back and forth. And I'm so glad for the team that we have because they make sure that they stay on point when it comes to how everything is done in the business.
Right.
now and then, yes, they will come to me and like, okay, Miss Rosalie, I have a client, and the client may ask for certain things, but most of the time it's like this is the way it's done, and that really help us because you have to be consistent, and that was too one of the issue I had when I first started before I had a SOP was being inconsistent and not following along and treating everybody the same, and the contract say this and this is the contract and that is what we're going to follow, and that's the other thing. You have to make sure that you follow everything in your SOP, and if you're going to change it, make sure you have an addendum to the changes, because the change that you make doesn't mean that this is this is it, right? You might tweet something for one person. You have to make sure that you have it documented, so when the next person come along, they know that okay, this is not the standard. This is something that you actually do for this person. So, anything else you want to add to the being consistent?
No,
You're so hard. You're like, okay, this is it. You have no, you're so hard.
but it worked. I mean, I did soften up a little bit on certain things, but with the way that this in any business has to run, you have to be able to say 1, 2, 3. When you start throwing in 1A and 2B and 3C, that muddies the water, that gives people excuses to do other things that you really don't want done. And as we just spoke about, by having the processes in place, everybody does the same thing. Every client goes through the same process. And when everything is said and done, nothing is missed. And that's all I was trying to get us to. I may have been a little harsh in some of the things that I wanted to do, but the bottom line was I realized that coming from where you were coming from, dealing with the babies, dealing with adults, dealing with the emotional stuff that you had to deal with, your feelings were more prevalent than getting business done.
That's true.
And as we've learned, both of us have learned over time, getting business done has to be paramount. Yes, there are places where you can make certain adjustments, have a little wiggle room, which is what I had to learn. But together, I think we found out that a process is a process is a process is a process. And as long as everyone is following that process, you have everything you need. Clients do what needs to be done. You do what needs to be done. So that if there are ever any problems, we can go back and say, nope, this is what was supposed to happen. And I say that it has to be a living document because things change on a regular basis.
Yes.
COVID hit, that changed. Prices went up, that changed.
That's true. System
Processes
yeah.
changed. AI hit, that changed.
That's true.
CRMs are in place now, that has changed. So you always have to keep it living, but you have to make it consistent.
That is so true. Yep, and also it helps, with efficiency, because now I'm not spending that much time answering all the team's questions.
Because it's already written down.
Everything is written down. So now all they have to do is go check the document to see how it's done. How do I handle a client inquiry? It's in the document. The client have this question, is in the document, because not only do we have the steps, but we also have frequent question and answers, because whatever comes up, and that's the other thing, you have to make sure that you're keeping track of your business data, right? Because even when you first started, the first, all the time, I wouldn't even say the first year, first 2 years, every day of your business is data collection, because things change, and sometimes something might come up that you have never thought about. And now it comes up, so you go back now and you make sure you edit your SOP and you had it to your SOP to make it efficient. So we are going to take a quick break, and then we come back. We're going to talk about growth, because for you to grow in your business, scaling your business, you have to have your SOPs in place. That will help you not to feel stuck. It will help you to move at a more efficient manner. It will help you to see where you are in your business, where you grow, where you pull back, where you make changes. So that's the next thing that we think we're going to be talking about when we get back on Chat Bout with Rosalee Henry, the seven-figure doula whisperer. We'll just come to
Right now, everyone, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to have a little musical interlude. We've got some things that we do want to talk about, as she spoke about earlier, growth in the business, and we will be right back.
Oh, I miss those days. I miss those days. Remember the songs used to make you rock away. Those were the days when love used to reign. Hey, we danced all night to the songs they played. We can come again, do it just the same. Hey, now I feel it in my heart.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we are back, and I am so grateful to have you still here with me. And we are going to be talking about growth. So before, like I said, before SOP, I always feel so stuck in the business. I was constantly reactive, in a reactive mode, right? Putting out fires and handling day-to-day tasks, which left me feeling so burnt out and overwhelmed and tired. And I wanted to expand my business. I wanted to grow, because I know for sure that what I am doing in the business, was helping. I'm serving the maternal community. I'm helping moms during their postpartum journey. I was, doing so much. And then in 2017, I actually headed the home care part of the business when, my mom developed breast cancer, and I saw the need for it. So, I was doing a lot, but I know for sure that for me to grow and scale, I have to do things differently. So when I hired a coach, and she was able to help me to get my SOPs going and teaching me how to manage the business differently, right? Seeing it through a different lens. That really, really opened my eyes, and that was how we were able to grow and scale, and build a team, and be able to delegate effectively, and that didn't feel anymore like I was micromanaging people, including you, because now I was able to hand you the SOPs for, you had to create the SOPs for the IT part of the business, because
Yep.
that was your thing. But for the invoicing and the billing and stuff like that, we were able to create that, and that really, really saved us a whole lot. And also having SOPs, it makes you more able to delegate more, more effectively, right?
It does, and it may seem like we are constantly saying and repeating ourselves, but you cannot downplay the importance of having that information in place. You cannot downplay the importance of delegating responsibilities.
No.
Simply because if you have a problem or you are not available, then if you are the only one that knows, your business comes to a screeching halt. But if you've taken time to put that information together and you've delegated to the proper people so that they understand exactly what they're supposed to be doing, and then those people can take care of those that do the actual work.
Right.
If something goes haywire,
And things will go haywire.
something as simple as, once again, COVID. The things that COVID did to a lot of businesses, it wasn't just the fact that workers were sick. Those in charge of the business went down. And for those that didn't have SOPs and other things like that in place, their businesses went belly up because they had everything in their head instead of having everything on paper or documented electronically somewhere.
And
So
again,
you got to be able to deal with delegation.
and again, we are talking from personal experience. Because, I mean, I was one of the person who was, scared of delegating. I was.
Anything.
For real, because everything was in my head, right? And I did have system and process in place. But thank God, we got things done. And honestly, it was like what, about 3 or 4 months before COVID, before we got COVID, that we
Started delegating, started getting our virtual assistants in place, started making sure that all of our documentations were tight, making sure that even doing it the old-fashioned way with paper, filing cabinets, and writing it down on a board, we still had a process of making sure that that was done.
Yep.
Even while I was building out the back end, making sure we had online storage, making sure all the security stuff was in place.
That's important.
All of that was a process. All of those processes were in place. So by the time we got nailed with COVID and we were put down.
Yep.
We were down. I was down for 14 days. My wife was down for 17 days, and it wasn't at home.
Not down. Not only say 17 days and 14 days. We were hospitalized for those days. But
that's where I was going.
But when I got out of the hospital, I was on oxygen from August to November, right? I had to get physical therapy and occupational therapy, so I was out. But thank God that we had systems and process in place, and we had people who were trained on those systems and processes to take care of it. And thank God that our daughter, she was because of COVID, thank God she was not working with her regular job, so she was coming to the office, so she was able to learn things, but she would not have been able to learn as much if we did not have those system and process in place. So she was the one who was able to step in and take over
and keep things running.
We would not be on here right now talking about this because we would not have had a business. Our business would have gone belly up because we were staffing. We were doing so much staffing, and you think about
personal care.
You think about having working with a company and you don't get paid 1 week. You may stay on for the next week, but the next week you don't get paid, you're not going to stay. And, we weren't able to run payroll when in the hospital. She was the one who was able to do that. But because we had everything set up, she was able to take over. So delegating is key, but delegating without SOP, you're going to frustrate your workers and they're not going to stay. You have to make sure you have system and process in place before you even think about hiring a team or building a team.
And again, speaking from my part of the business, being the IT person, just imagine me being out of the office, hospitalized, on oxygen, unable to do anything for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And everything was still able to run because I had my processes down tight so that all she had to do was follow the steps.
Right. Yep.
And when we say we were down, hospitalized, we were actually told that 85% of the people on our floor never left.
Exactly. Yep. So
So we
yeah,
were
we're talking from personal experience,
Yeah.
and like I said, I'm passionate about what I do in the maternal and community health industry, but I'm also passionate about making sure that the people who are doing the work, because the only way that we're going to be able to make an impact on what is going on in maternal world right now is to make sure that the people who are doing the work have a sustainable business, right? It
and a
doesn't
sustainable
and a
income.
sustainable income, right? If your business is sustainable, your income is going to be sustainable. So I want to make sure that you don't make the same mistake that we made. I want to make sure that your business is set up for one, pandemic proof, right, and also recession proof. Because if pandemic hit and you have your SOPs, you have your system and stuff in place, you can work. You can do that from anywhere. We learn now that we can work virtually, right?
Yes.
So if you can't go to the office and you have your system and process in place, you can work from home. You have a file full of cabinet full of paperwork at the office and nothing online and nothing streamlined. You get
You're
you,
going
you
to have problems.
you're gonna have problem, right? And also making sure that whatever happened, you can still have a sustainable living. You can still have a business.
And you've also got to make sure that the behind the scenes stuff, again, speaking from the IT side of it, you've got to make sure that that's in place.
Yes.
Not only just being able to call in, not only just being able to log into a computer, but you've got to have your security stuff in place.
Yes, that's
Your
important.
documentation, you need to have a process so once certain things are done, invoices are paid, or documents, contracts are signed, you need to have a consistent way of making sure that that information is uploaded, saved,
Safely,
protected,
HIPAA compliant.
backed up, HIPAA compliant, all of that. And all of that comes in, again, like we've been saying all program long, SOPs.
Yes.
Getting those processes in place, delegating to the proper people, and then trusting your team,
Yes.
which I
Yes.
know that's something you want to speak about.
Definitely. That you have to trust your team. And trusting your team also go back from you as the CEO, the entrepreneur, the boss, making sure that you have systems set up in place so you can train your workers correctly.
Exactly.
Because if you don't, then it's a failure, and it's not on you. It's not on them. It's on you.
Because you didn't take the time to train them the way that you need to be trained. A good example, I would say, would be a bunch of, and I'm not going to use any names, but a bunch of fast food places. We all see them. We all know about them. There's one in particular that people rave about just because of the service.
Yes. Customer service. Awesome.
But then there's one that people rave about just because of the lack of service.
But
And
it goes back to the training that they get.
It does. It goes
that
back to
is.
their training. It goes back to what is allowed to be done. It goes back to their SOPs aren't always followed.
Right.
And it also goes back to those that are delegated to be in charge. Are they following the process
That's true.
just as well?
Yep. So, yes, and like I said, that's the reason why we started Red Rose Staffing, because we do not want anyone to have to go through what we have gone through. And if we can use our experience, if we can use the mistakes that we have made, if we can use the things that work for us and show that to other people and help someone else, we have done our job. So if anyone out there listening to us, you have a small business, doesn't matter what your business is, right? I'm into the maternal and community industry because that's where I'm in. But we're capable of helping anyone in any small business that need the SOPs built out, making sure that everything is streamlined. If you're ready to grow and scale your business, you have to have your SOPs in place. If you're ready to create, to grow, to start a team, it doesn't make sense. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time, and it's frustrating, and it's going to become overwhelming, and you're going to have a revolving door if you are thinking about hiring a team and you do not have your house in order. You have to have your back end set up correctly. You have to have your SOPs in place before you even think about bringing on a team, because they're not going to stay.
I will add to that too. You also have to realize that, how can I put this? You're going to have to realize that not only having the SOPs in place is important, but you're going to have to put people in place. And as I said earlier, you've got to take your emotions out of it.
Yes.
You've got to understand that, as the old saying goes, be slow to hire and quick
Quick to fire.
to fire. It's not personal. It's not, well, this person is going through hard. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. Business is business. And if you're starting out as a singlepreneur, I think is the new phrase that's going around now, you need to realize that not only having those SOPs in place are important, but you might need to have some outside assistance to help jumpstart
Yes, sir.
things.
That's true.
And that, again, is where Red Rose Staffing can come
Comes
in
in.
place to help you get those people in place, to get things off the ground so that you can get your business moving in the direction that you want it to go.
And that will help you to free up your time and also increase your bottom line. Because if
Exactly.
you don't have to sit there and do the things that you don't know how to do or even have time to do, but is needed to be done, that's where we come in, so you can outsource those things to us, and we will make sure that you are up and running in no time the way you need to be. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You know how to find me on Facebook, Rosalee Henry or Rosalie Bizel. And also my number is 678-898-4005. So until next time, everyone.
Before we go, I'm going to throw out one last thing. If you're the business owner, please understand it is best that you surround yourself with people that are smarter than you.
That's
Because
true.
you don't need to know how to do everything. You just need to know how to direct those that know how to do.
That's true. That's true. So thanks, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a blessed week. Stay safe. And until next time, this is Rosalie Henry, seven-figure doula whisperer. Chat bout where what we do again, sweetie? Do that line.
I think you say we change lives one conversation at a time.
Yeah, we transform lives one
Transform
conversation.
lives.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
Yeah, transform lives one conversation at a time. So,
Yes.
everyone, thank you so much for joining. Thanks for the support. As always, we really appreciate you.
Have a good evening.
Someone's bound to come and try to spoil the show.